Back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yes, it's the Monday afternoon show here. And no doubt you see to my left or my right, there's a familiar face in my brother. We're going to be talking about, it is left, I think right. I covered both ends, left and right. The formal announcement that Gabriel Jesus has now been officially announced as our latest and newest, well, actually the fourth signing, going to be wearing the number 9. And we'll talk very, very briefly about Lisandro Martinez, the player who's probably made up his mind and he won't be coming to Arsenal. And we'll also be talking about the poll. We did a poll yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. And boy, have the numbers flown through the window. There's only one window here, actually. Only one window. But yes, we'll get into this one, the other side of this music intro. No, I know you didn't see that, guys, but I saw my brother run off the camera and he made it back just in time. And he's frozen now. He's frozen. Oh, dear me. Are you all right?
I'm not frozen.
Say again?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, yeah. Are you all right?
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm frozen. I'm good.
All right, yeah. Just ran off the camera and it came back in just in time. So how you been, Master? How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been working very, very hard with work, obviously. The couple of weeks I had off, I was quite fortunate to meet a legend, Paul Merson, at the Box Park at Wembley. That's like my highlight, if I have to be honest. Since I've gone to the theatre a couple of times, had a bit of time to myself, explore myself a little bit, and back in work, and work has ramped up again. But yeah, I was also watching the England under 19s at the weekend, and they won their Euros, and we also got the women's Euros coming up probably Wednesday. So it'd be good to watch a bit of football because I love tennis. I was actually watching a really good film, King Richard, about the father of Venus and Serena. And if you want to talk about being single-minded and mentality, he had that. He acted a bit crazy. I'm not just on about Will Smith. I'm on about how he played the father of Venus and Serena. But his single-mindedness and the way that he got his daughters to be very focused at the job at hand and who they're going to become as well. Amazing. It'd be good to see that kind of mentality at Arsenal.
Yeah,
but know that we go into it.
Yeah, well said, then, actually, well said. So yeah, we've got only 2 new segments. Like I said, one's going to be predominantly about Gabriel Jesus, who was officially announced today, and just breeze over Lisandro Martinez. So Arsenal have signed Brazil forward Gabriel Jesus from Man City for a deal of £45 million on a long-term deal. 25-year-old is a manager Mikel Arteta's 4th signing following the rivals of Fabio Vieira. Fabio who? Matt Turner and Marquinhos. Arteta said he was very excited by Jesus' arrival. The club has done a tremendous job to recruit a player of this stature, he said. Arteta, who have worked with Jesus when he was assistant coach at City, has been trying to boost Arsenal's attacking options after the departure of Lacazette and, of course, Aubameyang. I know Gabriel personally very well, and we all know him very well from the Premier League. And being really successful here, the Gunners manager said, this position that's been our radar on a long time, and now we have managed to get a player that we wanted. So we are all really, really happy. Now, I've just been watching, I'm not going to mention the other platform's name, but I've just been watching the interview that he did there. And it appears that Mikel Arteta, and knowing the fact that there are other Brazilian players, was very, very instrumental in getting Gabriel Jesus to sign for Arsenal. £45 million, I think, for me, is a bargain. Is it a good fit for Arsenal, Ralph? Gabriel Jesus?
Well, he's going to have to be. He's going to have to be. I think pre transfer window, with all the speculation and everything, I think I did see on one of the posts that he gave this kind of statement that this is like his new adventure. So he knows what's expected of him. He's won Premiership with Man City. He's won a few cups along the way. So he's he knows what's the expectations at Arsenal. I'm sure there's no doubt that the conversations that we've had with the other Brazilian counterparts as well would have put him in some kind of I suppose permanent kind of like mindset that he's seen what's expected. He's seen what's happened to Arsenal. No doubt, of course, he's played against them a few times as well. So he knows pretty much what's expected and what he needs to do. I suppose it's also a gamble as well for Arteta because, this is Arteta's man now. And, he's played him in a number 9 role, I take it also. So it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of expectation. But that's what happens when we have new players. We always build them up, don't we? We say, we can't wait to get this person, that person. And we build them up and then sometimes we're not as we should be. They don't fire straight away. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what a waste of money that signing was. So you have to be very, very patient and let the players, they're going away on this tour, aren't they? This pre-season tour.
Yeah.
So it'll be a way of like getting into the groove of the way that the team is going to play, the way that Arteta, more importantly Arteta, the way that he wants the players to play as well. Hopefully there won't be so much of that, demonstrative coaching along the sidelines because now the players that's going to get in would know exactly what he wants them to do. So it's okay doing it from time to time, but not every 5-10 minutes shouting at your players to get into formation when they already got you already told them what the game plan is.
Yeah. Ralph, we did a poll within the last, I say, 2 hours. And say again?
You love your polls.
Well, you've got to keep all engaged, isn't it? You can't go off, and fall asleep. You've always got to be on top of it, Ralph. So the poll that we did was in regards to who we think is going to score the most goals in the new season. And I only put 3 players. I put Saka, Nketiah, and Jesus, even though I had an idea who, I said, the subscribers were going to pick outright. So out of 559 votes, there's not been any comments yet, 21 likes. On 9% is Eddie Nketiah. So 9% of you think Nketiah is going to be the top goal scorer. On 10% is Saka, which is probably about right, actually. And on 81%, it's Gabriel Jesus. So let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Come the end of the new season, because someone has put a bet that Eddie Nketiah will probably score more goals than Gabriel Jesus. He scored a hat-trick against the Tractor Boys the other day. Was it a friendly behind closed doors? A good start, isn't it? A momentum, Ralph.
Yeah, I think also for Eddie, it's good. This is one of the things that we always mention. It's good to have competition for places because 1, it keeps you sharp. 2, that it's unfortunately as the game is, it's a marathon. So if you do pick up a knock or you're playing, you're not in your manager's mindset for a particular game plan. It's good to be able to play. Now we've got the FA Cup, fingers crossed. We've got Europe as well now, so you may have to figure in those kind of teams as well. But it's good to have competition for places. Like I said, it keeps you sharp, it keeps you active, and competitive. It's one of the things that I think we was lacking for the longest time because we were pretty much like bare thin for a squad. So I'm expecting some big things. Eddie's now got that number 14. And I know a lot of people have been saying, you know what, it's that number should have been retired and that kind of stuff. I think it is what it is at the end of the day. The shirt's there. The shirt's there. If the club wanted to retire it, they could have done it any other time, but it didn't. So when you step into those shoes, like Jesus coming into a team, it's like any new signing coming to a team. It's like the players now, when the season starts, the board is cleared, you start again, you go as you go. But you know, I would imagine that you become your own kind of critic as well, because when you do miss those goals, or when it's not running to form, it's bad enough having the fans on your back, let alone yourself as well. So I think Eddie's gonna step up, and Jesus, I'll give Jesus a free pass. I'm not gonna put anything on him. First season in, let's see what he does.
Yeah. All right. Just the second and last news segment is actually in regards to Lisandro Martinez, the Ajax fullback, or actually plays CB as well. Apparently, there's a gentleman's agreement between, this player here. Listen, I get all the hurrah about Gabriel Jesus. We've got to find over the line, but I see our chances of signing this left back come centre back diminishing day after day. There is a video coming up in the next couple of hours. You know, I'm giving my thoughts, the latest news in regards to Lisandro Martinez, a gentleman's agreement. Dear me, what's this world coming to? So let's see. There's only been one comment actually so far in the live chat, and this has come from Lynn. Lynn, good afternoon to you. I hope you're keeping well. And she says, Alex, is it a question? I think that Jesus' announcement was delayed so he could do the PR job on why he wanted Arsenal. And this has coincided with Martinez's deal to try and persuade him to sign for us, the other players. I don't think that has much bearing on Lisandro Martinez. You know, I think Erik ten Hag, who was, of course, the previous Ajax manager, is a massive pull for Lisandro Martinez. You've got to remember as well, the previous season, he was their player of the season. So the delay to try and get Lisandro on our side, I can't see it. I really can't see it. Ralph, your thoughts? Would it delay?
I don't know. It seems more. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. I don't know, Alex. I just tend to just, you know, as I said to you towards the end of last season, I'm not going to get sucked into this, like, let's see who's going to get in and everything else. I'm waiting until we actually do sign a player. It's good that the other platforms want to go that way because it keeps the momentum going until, you know, the season starts. You know, I've seen, you know, your segments as well. They're quite good, but I don't know. My mind's not really on that kind of level of thinking. To be perfectly honest, I'm just, you know, taking it as it is. You know, it's good that we've got Jesus over the line. Actually, what I should say, or what I'd like to express is well done to Matt Turner and his partner, because they just had a first born, I believe, or second born child. I saw something on Twitter this morning. So Matt Turner is a dad. So you know, welcome to the Arsenal, and welcome to to your newborn as well. But yeah, Alex, I'm to me there's just so much clatter going around. I'm just standing back and just waiting. And then when there's somebody that actually comes in, we can talk about Jesus because he's in. We can talk about Matt Turner. We can talk about Vieira as well, Pablo Vieira, because they're in there now. You know, and it's good that we're getting some of the signings in. I think Arsenal probably still got a way to go in terms of signings, and to make sure we can get some key ones over the line. Who they are? Is it going to happen? You know, like I said, I'm pretty much reactionary. I'll wait and see. I've been sucked in too many times and say, yeah, we're going to get that guy from Real Madrid. You can see his I can't get his name. But yeah, it's too many times sucked in, too many times. Yeah. So I'm backing out of that.
Yeah. So before I go into the next comment, we're moving fairly rapidly towards 18,000 subscribers. We're on 17,200. Now, my brother loves to do his competitions. Yeah. Loves to do his competitions. So once we've hit the 20,000 mark, expect to see my brother or hear my brother talking about another competition on Channel 42, which means if you're not shared, if you're not subscribed to Channel 42, if I were you, I would press the button, so you can at least have some chance of taking part in the competition. And listen, we're going to change the rules, but I won't talk about it just yet because we're not at the point where we've surpassed 20,000 subscribers. But look out for that. Do you want to say something, Ralph, before going to the next comment? No?
I was going to say that's fantastic that we've got 17,000 subscribers. So, guys, on behalf of myself, Alex, and the Cannon Fodder fraternity, I say thanks very much. You make this channel what it is, and for that I'm eternally grateful. We are eternally grateful, and I don't see anything wrong in terms of like rewarding, a few subscribers or even our moderators. Our moderators have been with us, for a good couple of years as well, and I think maybe Static and my man as well actually. Yeah,
your guy actually did. Yeah.
Here's my people. Oh, what? Another competition? Come on, 20,000. Come on. Yeah. So I think that's only right. And as I mentioned before, once the last competition I did, it was for the fans. So it would be male, female, and your kids. But then nobody took me up on the offer other than when we reassigned it and we did it as just actually it was two guys who were supporters and moderators on our channel as well who became worthy winners, and you've seen the videos. So like I said before, when I put the competition out, please on behalf of us join in, because listen, competitions, winners gets prizes as it were. And we'll wait and see when that 20K what we can do.
Yeah. The next comment comes from the Assembled, who says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Who are the players that Arsenal should sign to complement the players who are in this present squad, in your opinion?" Well, I know one of them is not going to happen, Ruben Neves, so forget about that. Yuri Tillemans, definitely need to get him over the line. Serge Gnabry, that won't happen. We're not even in communication with Serge Gnabry, so I would say these two players there. A striker as well up top to complement Gabriel Jesus stroke Eddie Nketiah would be Ivan Toney. So these are the players that I would like Arsenal to go in the market and sign. Do you have any players, or shall we go on to the next segment, Ralph? No,
I don't.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I know who I'd like, but it won't happen. We'll have to just wait and see how much money do we have in the bank.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I have no idea. I've got no idea how much money there's supposed to be in the kitty to buy the players. No idea.
Another trophy.
Say
I've been
again?
hearing a lot of chat. Didn't the Kroenkes win another trophy?
Oh, the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. So are we going to get anything from? Is it you? Do you think we might get some kind of like I don't know, some kind of like handout from the massive KSE syndicate that will help us, become more sustainable?
No, but I do find it very interesting that now, well, we came at the starting blocks fairly quickly with the signings, and all of a sudden people are saying, "Oh, KSC, they got the money, oh, fantastic." People are feeling the love, but once things start to go south, Ralph, people will revert to type, complaining and moaning about KSC. They didn't do that. Listen, I still want KSC gone, Ralph. I still want them out. Whether they splash the cash, if it's £500 million, I still want them gone.
What about sorry to go into it. One other thing. We remember a couple of years ago when there was speculation about who could potentially take over the club, and Dan Gotti.
Yeah.
He mentioned that 2023 potentially may be the time when he will look at Arsenal again. So do you reckon that in the background there may be something? We also had that Spotify owner as well. So things don't go quiet for a reason.
But you know what? But Ralph, you know what we always say. Especially when we're talking about players who are being linked to Arsenal, we always say we don't believe it until we see the player holding up the jersey or sign a contract. With Dan Gotti, I don't believe it until he's actually, talking more and actually spending the money or trying to challenge and negotiate with KSC. So I don't believe it, Ralph, until I see it. The same thing with Daniel Ek. All this talk about, we're not going anywhere. I've got Dennis Bergkamp, I've got Thierry, with me by my side, wanting us to buy Arsenal. Don't believe it until we can see you literally in the board trying to negotiate the sale of Arsenal. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Dan Gotti, he can talk until the cows come home, Ralph. But as far as I'm concerned, unless we can see you, actively trying to communicate with KSC, it's just dead in the water, isn't it, Ralph? Only dead in the water because it's
So what would be
amazing, isn't it? Hmm?
So what would be amazing would be if Dan Gotti and Daniel Ek got together to put a bid in, because they're both wealthy. One's country and one's through.
Yeah.
To put a really tasty bid that will make the Kroenkes think, actually, that might not be a bad idea. You know what I mean?
But you've got to put something worthy in front of them that might, get the grey matter swirling. But talk is not gonna work. Just talking about, I want to come in and buy as of 2024 or 2025. That's all talk. It's all talk. And much more even with Daniel Ek. It's all talk. Anyway. Someone goes on to say, I'm lost to who Arsenal will sign. Everybody who I believe they should go for, we are outmaneuvered. Well, maneuvered, we just take the longest time. Darwin Núñez, the moment Liverpool were linked with him, they brought him. Diaz, was it Diaz? Linked, they brought him. Erling Haaland, Man City, linked, signed. And I joked last week about, if Arsenal went into making movies, Ralph, the cliffhangers. Do you remember Batman and Robin? At the end of the episode, we had to wait until next week on a cliffhanger. And that's what Arsenal do. On a cliffhanger. I'm thinking, right, so just announce Gabriel Jesus. Just announce it. There's no what are you waiting for? What are they waiting for?
But Alex, the cliffhanger. You always knew that Batman and Robin was going to survive. For us, for Arsenal, we know that as soon as we go into the negotiation part, the other side already would have been bidded by maybe 3 other clubs. We seem to be playing with our decks showing to the opposition rather than keeping the cards close to our chest. So hey ho, it's the Arsenal way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just don't get it. What was the delay? Just I don't get it. I don't get it. Right. Any more comments? When is your live show, Ralph?
My live show.
Yeah, are you supposed to be doing a live show?
I'm still in the process of sorting stuff. Yeah, I was, and then I had to pull back because of work. Work is there's quite a few things I need to focus on with work. So I'm sorry. I think that maybe I might hold it back even further until maybe later into the summer, just to see where the landscape lies in terms of work. But we've got enough things going on. I've done my England top to during the Euros, Women's Euros, and I might do a bit there if time will allow. We've still got the Arsenal friendlies as well, haven't we, coming up? So there might be enough chance to do that. But yeah, for now it's all in the pipeline.
I just thought something funny. So Ralph says he's going to don, the England top because of the ladies in the Euros. Mm-hmm. And if Colombia was in Europe, I'd be donning my Colombian top for. But Colombia is not in Europe. So.
I was on YouTube. I was watching England. Unfortunately, of course, I did watch the Euros last year, and it was again so close. But then what came up in the feed was England penalties against Colombia. I tell you what, it was quite good to watch.
Yeah,
It was quite intense as well. But Alex, your best goalkeeper was that what's the name of that guy? The one who done the scorpion kick.
yeah, Rene Higuita.
Yeah, that's it. Rene Giggs. He got mugged on the halfway line, didn't he, by Robert Miller in the, in the World Cup.
Anyway, let's go back into live chat. Thank you, Ralph, for that. Seeing more games today, it's a strange one. Yes. Why the long delay? I just don't get it, man. Again, what are they trying to go into? Making cliffhangers for movies. They're in the wrong industry, man. Just anyway. I don't think there's any more comments. Let me just quickly check on Twitter sphere.
Maybe we've come in at a time when everyone's either picking their kids or they're about to leave work or they're still in work.
Yeah. Okay. Right, there's 15, 16 watching now. So I think really, if there's nothing else to be had or to be spoken about, then we'll call it quits. 26 minutes and running. What I will do, Ralph, just quickly go for the last time and see how the poll is now sitting. I guess maybe it's probably still the numbers are probably still the same. Let's have a look. So the latest poll was who scores more goals next season? It's going to be Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah, or Gabriel Jesus. Now, 625 votes. Again, guys, thank you for that. There's still no comments, but 22 likes. On a massive 8% is Eddie Nketiah. On 10%, Bukayo Saka. And not much ahead. On 82% is Gabriel Jesus. So you guys reckon that Gabriel... I've got a funny feeling Eddie Nketiah might score more goals than Gabriel Jesus. But like you said, Ralph, it's good to have competition, isn't it? I'm going to score more goals than you. No, I'm not. Competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good competition.
And hopefully, in that as well, Saka might get a bit more of a break and be able to play with a bit more freedom. Put the focus will shift off him and more onto Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, and I think that would have been the argument if we had brought a Rafinha, that he would have probably give Saka more respite, give him time just to recover, because there's no doubt, in my opinion, that we've overplayed Bukayo Saka, him. So, yeah.
What's happening with Rafinha then? Is he still dancing between two clubs, or is he? I'm not really fussed on him, to be honest.
Well, Barcelona, I think Barcelona are on the verge of signing him. I think he's waiting for the Barcelona, isn't he?
Yeah.
And if he gets it, good luck to him. If he doesn't get it, the second option will be Chelsea. But it's always been Barcelona, not Arsenal. Arsenal have not been in the conversation. So I'm not sure why Arsenal allegedly been going after a player who doesn't want to come to Arsenal.
That's another thing that bugs me as well.
Here's one more, Ralph. There's one.
Players. Arsenal always seem to go after players who we become like a second, third, or fourth choice rather than the first choice. I find it a bit insane as well. Let's go for players who want to.
All right, my brother's got some problems with his connection. It tells me here that the signal is absolutely terrible. So let me pull him out, and I will continue for the next few minutes unless he comes back in again. I think what my brother was going to say is that we need to go for top line targets. The problem is we are not as attractive like other clubs that are in Champions League. If we were in Champions League, then I understand it. I would understand it. But we're not able to attract those marquee signs because we're not in the Champions League. Sorry, Ralph, you were saying.
No, I wasn't sure where the cutoff was. My line went down. I just said how I'm annoyed that we always seem to be trying to chase after players who don't really want to play for us we're not their first choice. You know, we're like second, third, fourth down the line. It's like, oh well, I'll much rather want to go to, you know, any of the other top four teams, or go abroad. Oh well, you know what? Actually, because Arsenal's paying a lot of money, I'll go to Arsenal. No, you know, you either our first choice. If you don't want to play for us, we go elsewhere. Enough of this, like, you know, just trying to placate players to play for us. The first part is that if you want to play for us, that's the passion, straight from the get go. None of this. Oh well, I'll see what my other options are. Do you want to play for us? Yes or no? That should be it. And if you don't want to play for us, fine, go, you know, go elsewhere. But it shouldn't have to be, well, can you please play for us, please? It puts us in a rather weak position, I feel.
But don't you think the fact that the caveat is the fact that we're not in the Champions League, Ralph? If we were in the Champions League, we would have been more of an attractive option for players, you know, who won't dither over the fact whether to sign for Arsenal or not. But because we're in the Europa League, which is a step down, massive step down from the Champions League, they can afford to say no to us because we're not in the Champions League.
But then also, I flip it the other way. I'll flip it the other way. I would say, well then, if you don't want to play for us because we're not in the Champions League, then to me your mindset's not there. You're not a winner. You just want the easy route. You want a club that's already in there. Yeah, I can understand it being like a kind of like a kind of like easy in. If a club's already in the Champions League, what happens if that club goes out of the Champions League? Are you going to start messing about with your contract then because you're not in Champions League anymore? I want a player who wants to go with the team and take the team from the level that they are to the next level. And if we got Europe's good enough. Europe, to me, the Europa is a good enough platform to elevate the team into the Champions League. It's not from the Champions League down to Europa. We've seen that. Big teams have dropped out of the Champions League and gone down into the Europa League. You don't see the players then, you know, throwing their toys at the pram because they dropped down into Europa League after being in the Champions League. So we want to build up. So we want players to say, all right, you know what? Arsenal's in the Europa League. They've got the potential to go in the Champions League. That's why I want to build my future. Rather than this, I'll search to see you've got to be in Champions League to sign for you.
I know you haven't been on the channel for quite a while, but you know we've been talking about the Bukayo Saka situation. Hasn't signed a contract extension, and Liverpool possibly might be coming in for him. Do you think he will be steadfast and stay with Arsenal, or do you think the knock or the calling from Liverpool is just too great to turn down, Ralph?
Well, again, it goes back to the point I just made. You know, he's been at the club since a youngster, so you know, I can't speak for Eddie, for Saka. None of us can. If the manager's good enough, and if the team is good enough, this up and coming season has to be that we have to win something. We have to win something, and we have to elevate ourselves to the next level. And the manager and, you know, the Saka's families will have to come around the table and say, look, you know what, this is what we're going to do, but we can't do it all unless, you know, you buy into the process, this process that we've been talking about for the longest time. If I go back to what I mentioned earlier about watching that film last night, King Richard. Richard Williams knew the potential that his daughters had. He foresaw that they're going to be number one in the world. He foresaw it. He planned it. He planned every intricate step for them to be where he had to, for them to be where they had to be. He had to, you know, they showed a section where the kids were training in the rain, for example. When you input that kind of mindset into a potential winner, the next part is, okay, you know what? I'm buying into the process because I know that you're looking out for my best interests. There was a bit of a bit of infighting when Venus wanted to play tournament that her father didn't want her to play in. But then Serena did the same thing as well. They both knew that they had it in them. They had it in them because their dad instilled it in them. Now we're asking the manager to say to a young prospect who carried the team for 2 seasons now, buy into the process, buy into the fact that we're going to get to a point where you're going to reap the benefits. It's okay that if he does get turned, and we've seen it before. We've seen it, the early 2000s when we had a team. They've gone into our rivals. They've gone to Man United. They've gone to Man City. They've gone to Chelsea, and they've won things. But to me, this is my perception. It feels hollow. They've won it, but then they were out. Some of them even went to Barcelona and they were sat on the bench for about maybe 2 or 3 seasons in and out. It's hollow. It feels more when you actually build it. I think that's the thing that we're trying to instill to our youngsters now, the young players. You've got to build. It's no good just going butterfly jumping from leaf to leaf, hoping that you're going to hit that happy trail where you're in Champions League. Okay, you're in Champions League. You could bust a leg. You're in Champions League, the manager may be out of favour and another manager comes in and then you're on the sidelines. I feel that he's happier, or he should be happier, or if I'm appealing to him, stay where you are for another season, stay for another season, okay, and see where it takes you. And then if it doesn't work out, then you can always sit around the table and say, you know what, my contract's coming up now. I'm going to go. And I won't begrudge him, because he's carried the team for two seasons, but he's still young.
But even if he went to our rival, you wouldn't begrudge him, Ralph. Even if he went to one of our rivals, I'll be honest. I wouldn't like it. But like I said, I'm not in his ear. I'm not in his ear. As fans, we can all chant his name and everything. But at the end of the day, when he's sat at the table, opposite table to Arteta and Edu, and he's thinking, I've still got another maybe 5-8 years, God willing, to play this game at a high level, represent my club, represent my country, and win stuff. Players want to win stuff. What's my chances winning at Arsenal? At this moment in time, he's seen it for 2 years, and he's thinking, okay, well, we're nearly getting there. The next 2 years, or the next year, this last year, he either sits and writes an extension, if Arteta can prove to him, or he'll say, you know what, I've tried to do what I can. I'm in the air of Klopp. I'm in the air of Pep. I'm in the air with whoever's managing Barcelona or Real Madrid. I'm going to go there. You can't stop players from going where they want to go. You can only say to them, this is where we are at this moment in time. If you buy into it, you buy into it. Ralph, we knew that the Ox wanted to leave Arsenal and go sign for Liverpool. Imagine how he's feeling. He hasn't played many games just by the mere fact he's been injured still playing for Liverpool. But he's a Champions League winner. He's a Premier League winner, and no one can take that away from him. Whether you're probably thinking, well, actually, we want Saka to stay, because if he went to a Liverpool or Man City, he won't get enough game time. But he will be a Premier League or a Champions League winner. You can't take that from a player. But Saka, I think he'll probably stay for 1 season, and then most likely he will be off. But it's just
yeah, like you say, you can't take it away from him. You can't take from the Ox. You can't take away that he left in his business sense mind. He left at the right time. He caught them he caught Liverpool on the crest. They were on the up.
Yeah. And
there is a photo of him, and is it Firmino? On the pitch, but he's carrying the trophy. Yeah. So yeah, you can't take that away from him, But I still believe that maybe deep down, in the quiet moments, he's thinking, I'd love to have done it with Arsenal.
Yeah. All right. The live chat has just kind of warmed up somewhat. We've got Major Zizu who says, "I'm really happy to see Jesus on our side. Our future looks young and bright." Someone says, "Let's hope Jesus and Nketiah help the team rather than a self-serving attitude is adopting just to score the most goals." Yeah, but you want competition, don't you? You want competition, and if it's serving for the greater good, then why not? Eddie Nketiah doesn't strike me as being a selfish person, and neither does Gabriel Jesus. But if they were to change the attitude and be more competitive, why not for the greater good? Because it's going to be a win-win situation. They score goals, we win. We might have an opportunity of winning the Premier League. So I've got no problems with them being self-serving. What about you, Ralph? Self-serving, selfish? I don't see a problem.
Another observation. You have to be selfish a little bit. You have to be selfish. You have to be single-minded. You have to be determined. Of course, you have to be a team player as well. You can't do all that by yourself. You have to be a team player. The thing that I love, I think a lot of us Arsenal fans loved about Thierry Henry is that he could have scored a lot more goals, but he always gave the ball to someone who's in a better position to actually score the goal.
Yeah.
He laid the pass off. More often than not, he'll take him on and he will score. But in one of his interviews, he said that how the team will always make sure that whoever's in the better position to score the goal, that's where the pass would go. And I did see where was it? I was watching. I think it was when I was watching the under-19s. Of course, they're still developing. But there was a couple of goals that could have gone either side, either to Israel or to England, more than what the score showed at the end. And you always see the one player always like remonstrating and say, "Why couldn't you pass to me? I was in a better position than you were. Why don't you pass to me?" And that would never go. That never disappear. You got to have those players who feel that they can either take on the shot. Because we're always saying, aren't we? Rather than pass the ball into the net, we want you to shoot from outside the box if it's on.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is that you've got to be single-minded. If you're going to take the shot, if it doesn't come off, you have to take into full effect that the person who's in a better position is going to land blast you. But you have to be single-minded. So I think self-serving has a purpose as long as you're not always greedy. Remember we played for one team, Alex, and this guy, I'm trying to remember what his name was. We passed the ball to him, and he wouldn't pass. He wouldn't pass. He would just go off, and the team would always shout at him, but it didn't stop him. It didn't stop him. But from being that single-minded, I think you're always going to be single-minded anyway. But as long as the team becomes progressive, as long as the team starts winning, more importantly, then I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah. John Agizaguna says, Jesus said, "Eddie, you played it so well. I think I'll get up and I'll score it again." Well, again, our new song, 36 goals in expecting between them. They could do it. They could do it with the Emil Smith Rose, the Bukayo Sakas, the Erdegaards behind them as a supply line. You mentioned do you know I never mentioned Thomas Partey? You probably know why. But it could be. It could be 30, 35, maybe 40 goals. You never know. Ace says, big up Cannon. Thank you for that. Champions League, most important to keep hold of our youngsters. See? OPO Instant says, good evening, Guinness, and good evening to you. And John says, good evening, OPO. CM Wargame says, most South American want Barca or Real Madrid. It's a draw for a lot of them. With Rafinha, we had indications that he'd come here, but we are not willing to match what Leeds want. That's down to Pepe. Yeah, man.
Well,
go on, Ralph.
I was going to say it's not Pepe's fault. You know what I mean? Pepe should have, when he was on the pitch, taken more of the opportunity that was given to him. But it's not Pepe's fault. If my manager says, "Oh, Ralph's worth 75 mil," and I turn it out as maybe 50 or 65, then that's for me to work on. You know, I can't negotiate. It's not the player's fault that he's valued that high.
Yeah.
And as we know, you know, the person who got that. I mean, it was a joke at the time, but now it's quite serious because of what's happened last season. That person is now, God knows where he is. But if he's still got the bag of money that he got, he probably got half of that now because he probably has to use the other half in legal fees. But on top of that, the player can only do what he's born to do, and I think that maybe Pepe felt there's a lot of weight on him, and if he does go this season, or if we do keep him, I think it becomes a bit like waiting for the axe to come down on you, because he knows that the last season potentially he could have turned it around a bit, and he hasn't done.
Yeah. Prosper says same point goes for Saka. He doesn't want to be another Harry Kane. Good player, no trophies. Alex hit me on the app. Lost all the contracts. I'll send you my number again. John says Mohamed, Gabriel Jesus, and now we will need his Moses. Because he said the same about all the other players we had over the years. At one time, Man United was dominating, but the players we had then wasn't thinking of other clubs. We breed winners. We breed them. But that's the vision. Edu and Arteta should be selling come to Arsenal because a club legend by getting them back to winning the Premier League, titles and Champions League Cups. And that's what I said. The bid is the bid, the money is the money, but it's no use if you can't give the player or players a vision to aspire to. You've got to give them the vision.
Yeah.
And even more so because we're not in the Champions League. Arsenal playing Woking behind closed doors tomorrow. I'll make sure I'll tune in for that. Dark Square 1971, good afternoon to you. Says that we could have Maradona up front, but if we have Xhaka and Nene and Odegaard behind him, there would be problems. I think of that. Okay, you're all right. Oh, Ray from Arsenal fans, good afternoon to you, sir. Says big up Alex and Ralph. Yep, flying out Wednesday, I believe, for the Cologne friend in Germany. Yes. Jesus is Arsenal's first striker. He had brought this is a defining moment for Arsenal, Arteta and Jesus. Good point about Nketiah and Jesus, but too much of the selfishness. It can end up counterproductive. Healthy competition is a good thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, not a greedy player. He definitely a team player. That's what I said. They're not that type of player to be very, very selfish. Competition. It's competition. And what would be wrong with Ralph? Well, actually, the player saying, you know what? I can probably score more goals than you. And then he'd probably say, actually, no, maybe I can score more goals than you. And natural competition for the greater good. But they're not that kind of selfish players. They're not self-serving. Not self-serving. I agree, Ralph, but the hierarchy, i.e. Cronkies, are more cautious now when it comes to those type of deals, Ralph. Also, Fan Circle, Ray says, Alex and Ralph, how are you feeling about our summer business so far at this point? You go first, Ralph.
Like I said before, I don't want to get sucked into who's going to come into the club, because we build our hopes, we don't get them, and then all of a sudden we're into our pre-season friendlies, and then straight into the Premiership, and we're not ready. We should have had this player. We should have put the money on the table. As I said to you earlier, Alex, I don't know how much money we've got. This Arsenal is a Jedi mind trick. It's a Jedi mind trick, because if you remember, I think last season they were asking Edu, what's your vision for the coming season, and he didn't say what the placement was going to be. He didn't say, we want to get into Europe, or we want to be in top 4, blah blah. He just, somehow the interviewer must have gone away thinking, how do I end up in my car because I don't remember Edu answering the question, right? And then all of a sudden now, the season before that we had like was told, oh, we got 150 million, maybe 250 million in the bank to buy players, and it was somewhere around there, but that went off the boil. So this season now we've got, how's business so far? Business at this moment in time, he's got Jesus. He's got this one player that I have not seen. I'm not one to look into Portuguese football.
Who's that? Oh,
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah.
The fact that, when I heard we signed Vieira, I was thinking, what? So we got rid of Arteta? No, it's just there's another player called Vieira. So that's what I'm saying about the expectation. Now, this Lisandro Martinez, I'm not familiar with. I have to be honest. If it's all good, and he fits the mold, my main what has always been my consistent main concern is to do business early, get the players settled, get ready during pre-season, ready for the Premiership. Don't forget, we're in a World Cup year as well. The fact that we can use more subs, the fact that there's the season will stop during the World Cup as well. How are we going to be? Look at what happens when we have the international break. We normally lose a match before the international break, and then the break comes in, and then we start getting back into our kind of momentum until the next international break. Now we've got a World Cup in the middle of that now. So there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors coming into this, and I suppose long explanation, trying to shorten it down. Arsenal seem to be doing okay business. Okay, it's other than Jesus. It's not. I haven't been jumping out my chair saying, "Yeah, that's the way. That's what we should be. That's what we should be getting." Yeah. Nothing has made me feel really excited, if I have to be totally honest. And again, I will downplay anyway until I actually see who we get. So it's okay business by me.
Yeah. Well, mine's going to be a lot shorter than that, Ray. My brother just said it's been okay business. For me, it's a C+. Moving on. Is Moses still playing? No, he's not playing.
Hang on, sandals a long time ago.
Yeah. Best dressed YouTubers are looking sharp. Yeah, work-wise. Yeah, I think my brother as well. Is that a formal shirt you're wearing there, Ralph?
Yeah, the summer. I tell you what, we've been really fortunate with the weather. It reminds me of '76. But I'm wearing a nice linen shirt just to stay a bit cool.
I'm wearing a cotton shirt with the cufflinks, but that's all to do with work.
That's very formal.
Thank you, sir. The point is, Jesus and Nketiah can be on the pitch at the same time. Jesus can go left or right wing. Well, he did say actually in the interview on that channel I was watching before we went live that he can play in 4 different positions. I think 4 different positions. Wow. Okay. Oh, I can't wait for that one, man. The thing is, does the Jesus signing put us above the top 4? Chelsea, Spurs, Man United, and Newcastle, and even Newcastle. But like my brother said, even though we've got Jesus, it's not like yeah. It's like, oh, okay. And even worse, so they dragged out the announcement. I just didn't get that. Why did you drag it out for? That's weird. But we've got him over the line, and I'm not like my brother just said. It's not like yeah. It's just like okay. All right. What next? Who next? If any other next players.
Maybe that's the reason why they dragged it out.
You've had your lot.
There's going to be nobody else. We're going to make it last as much as we can as possible. Because guess what, guys? There's nobody else going to come back in.
The thing that is being overlooked is Jesus is a seasoned backup striker. He has to adapt to being the main man. There was a difference, thoughts, if any. But when he's been given the time to play, he's done very, very well. And then the argument might be, well, then
but Alex,
midfielders that as a supply man. But when he's given the opportunity, He's done very, very well at Man City. And he
That's
wasn't even the star.
Alex,
Go on.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the difference. That's the difference. Man City, he steps in, he will score, he'll support and everything else. He's coming to an Arsenal team now that's still trying to find their feet, that have been very inconsistent, hence the reason why we weren't in the top four. You know, I feel that he's going to find that he's got a lot more work to do. I'm going to be totally honest. I think he's going to find it really tough because his workload is going to be. When I saw your blog from Friday with Eltel came out with some really good observations about the defense. The defenders have played or have overplayed a lot. You know, the midfielders have struggled trying to find that through ball. And the strikers, when we had strikers, you know, they weren't clinical enough. Everyone's either overthinking it or overplaying it by too much. Now, Jesus is going to step in. It's not the Man City. It's not the Liverpool. You know, when you look at the attacking threats, right?
Yeah, but
he's stepping into an Arsenal team.
Yeah, but his stats tells a story that I think he's. What's that says that he covers a lot of ground, closing down, being part. I mean, with Pep, he requires everyone to do their bit. But I think his stat says that he is one striker who runs and closes down the most. So I don't think it'll be any different coming to Arsenal, Ralph. It'll be the same. He'll be expected to close down from the front. And Alex, you know, I think with Arteta, he's trying to be Man City 2.0.
If you've seen. I know you've seen my watch-alongs. I always say that the way that some of these oppositions that we played against, we allow them to attack us, and yet we are not progressive enough to attack them the way that they attack us. They roll the ball out, and we drop off. Eddie's like, I think Eddie's first couple of goals when he had that run of form was him attacking the goalkeeper or attacking the pass backs.
Yeah, the fullback. Yeah.
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 Now Arsenal need to adopt that kind of mentality that they haven't done so. They allowed the front man to do it, but then when it's us, we put ourselves. You know this. We put ourselves under so much pressure at times, trying to play the ball from the back, trying to link it with midfield. When it breaks down again, or the defenders are looking at each other thinking, hang on a minute, we've just given the ball to you and now we're under again. What's going on?
Yeah. Goodness. Edward, good afternoon, says Nketiah needs to be loaned and get another proven finisher. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We just give him a new contract. Great point, Ralph. I expected a serious 6-foot centre forward and a box-to-box DMF by now. Those are keys. Must-have players going into the season. Early business, please. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Alex. I'm telling you again. When Eltel said, this is the thing. Actually, this is one of the things I wanted to say actually as well. Thanks to Eltel for bringing this point across. When Arsene Wenger lost Thierry, Perez, Bergkamp, he lost his players. The stature of the players, we're talking about 6 foot plus. Okay, then he had Fabregas, Kleb, Flamini, and Rizicki in midfield. And we're talking about 5 foot, 5'8", maybe 5'9". Okay, technically gifted players, but you lose presence in that makeup. Now, he tried to adopt the way that Barcelona were playing. That if you look at Lionel Messi is like 5'5", 5'8", I believe. Technically gifted, but he had Xavi and other players around him that as soon as he got the ball, he knew where he's going to get the ball from. He knew how he's going to attack. As a defender, you're on the back foot, right? So Arsenal tried to adopt that tiki-taka football. It didn't work. It didn't work against teams like Bolton, teams like Chelsea, teams like Sheffield United, teams like Liverpool, there and thereabouts. Okay, but it didn't last. It wasn't progressive. Then we had we had Giroud, who's about just 6 foot on 6 foot. Ramsey, 6 foot. But the crosses were going in. Actually, Theo Walcott, crosses were going in, and that was your target man. Now, we were meant to be going for who's that key market player? Is it Juventus?
Who's that? Vlahovic.
I'm trying to remember his name. Sorry?
Vlahovic.
Vlahovic is what, 6'2", 6'3"? So that's your key man there. Okay. Now I'm not saying it always works. I mean, I look at Chelsea, and Chelsea had what's his name? Who plays for Belgium?
Oh, Lukaku. Yeah.
Lukaku is a target man.
You're not doing so well on the names, are you, Ralph? Who's that player who plays for? Who's that player?
No, I'm not. That's because my excuse because I love Arsenal.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if you look at the makeup of other players, I mean, Mo Salah, technically gifted, he's not tall, but he's quick. Okay. If you look at De Bruyne midfield attack, he doesn't have much backlift when he scores. It's all technique. He's very technically gifted. To me, Arsenal is still trying to find what they were. When we, to me, it becomes frustrating because we seem to be transitioning when really we should be thinking, you know what? We had Lacazette, we had Uber. What is, when Uber came in, he was our target man. To the point, and you would agree to this as well, we were saying Uber scores more goals. The team needs to start stepping in. The midfield needs to start stepping in. Now the midfielders scored some goals. Now we're back to our target man. But our target man now is about 5'10". 5'10", maybe 6 foot, but I'm sure it's 5'10". So where are we in our attack? Where are we when it comes to having that target man? Where are we when we need to frighten the opposition? We want to make the opposition think, flipping out. They got, they're going to say they got Jesus, but they got Eddie as well. Would that really scare you?
Not really. Not really.
Sorry to have gone on a bit, but I think there's a point worth making.
Yeah. All right, let's run through these very quickly because we've gone over an hour. Actually, I was thinking maybe you might do 30 minutes, but an hour and 5 minutes. I don't like to do hour-long shows, but let's go through these comments. Quite interesting debates and discussions. Argentine national player, versatile and good, covers 3 positions. Why are we going for him? Can cover left back, LCB, and DM anyway at big teams. He would work well in a double pivot. That's a good point, actually, Richard. They dragged it out because there is no big signing. Like you just said, Ralph. Literally, that is it. This is it. Bill's World, good afternoon, says that Arsenal should please prioritize the left back and the right back. What about the midfield? Vieira was Portugal's player of the under-21s at tournament and is highly rated, can score a left and right. Jesus himself doesn't drag us above the others. The signings of Vieira and Turner improve the squad. What's that? Squad depth. If we sign 3 more decent signings, I'd be happy with more depth in the squad and quality. Ace, who are these players you want us to sign? Who are these players? Arsenal should please prioritize. Oh, you've done that one already, haven't you? Porto did not think Vieira was good enough for their biggest games. That's why he never played any of their ECL games last season. That worries me. And you know what? It worries me that we're going to end now. we've come to it on this Monday show. 1 hour and then some change. Yeah, interesting, man. Interesting. Again, just dragging it out. I think it could well be because this is as good as it's going to get. And don't get me wrong, I like Gabriel Jesus. I like him. We'll have to wait and see how he fits into Arteta's philosophy and the tactics and everything else there. But anyway, Ralph. Final words, Ralph, before we wrap it up.
Final words.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to get myself too ramped up. Pardon my lack of opposition strikers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, of course, you know, we love our team. That's the reason why we've got this channel. But dragging out that press release and everything else, everybody knew he signed. You know, why you want to drag it? If you're going to say, look, guys, I'd rather actually made a statement saying, right, guys, we've got our team, we're settled, we're not going to do any more signings unless we feel necessary. Then that's it. It drops all the smoke and mirrors, all the conspiracies out the window. But the longer you draw something out, the more speculation, the more talk tends to come up. And it puts us in this kind of situation, which I don't want us to be in.
Yeah.
So let's just have a happy preseason, happy summer, and going into the next coming season. God willing.
Okay, and that's it. On the day where we actually find out and see, Gabriel Jesus has been officially announced as the fourth signing after. Let me try and remember now. Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira who? Fabio who? Matt Turner and Gabriel Jesus. And that's it, people. So expect to see me again tomorrow, coming live and direct from the realms of Cannon Fodder's studio, my kitchen. Anyway, look out for the formal video. Actually, where I'm talking about Gabriel Jesus and my opinion about Gabriel Jesus, but I already gave you my opinion, which means you don't have to watch the pre-recorded video coming up in an hour's time. But anyway, we are here. Ralph, thank you very much for giving us your undivided
no worries, bro.
Location, and the check will be in the post.
Pleasure.
It might bounce a couple of times, but anyway, you're used to that now anyway.
To be expected.
Exactly. That's good for they're not making any more checks. But anyway, people, we are finished. I hope you did enjoy this Monday afternoon show over here on our channel. Our channel, Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over.